Hey, just know that I know. I respect your hustle though,
Still
bro.
put the
I
powder
respect
in
your
the
hustle.
Gatorade bottle. You
Yeah,
already
yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I
me.
respect your hustle, baby. Just know that,
It's
all
me.
right?
It's me.
But
It's
I did
me.
want to just, go down a little bit of that, mindset process, man. When we talk about transitioning out, right? Because obviously we're both multiple years removed from our last time playing in the NFL, taking those last steps, right? So I
Right.
just wanted to know from you, man. I was going to talk about myself as well, but just like, when did you know that, man, this was potentially going to be it? Whether it was a feeling that you felt yourself, or was it like you getting forced? Because, like I said, it definitely could be a forced thing, man. And at the same time, it don't got to be a, man, I'm all the way retired. No, it could still be like, bro, I still low key
I still
am
got it.
training. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, yeah. So that's why I want
I
to talk. Like,
still
yeah,
got it. But
yeah.
no, from the league, you got to think. So I went to Miami in my last year. I was on the Dolphins. I'm doing all right. They drafted Jerome Baker. They ended up
Shout out,
letting me
yeah.
go. Shout out Baker. Baker is a good player. I ended up leaving there. I went to San Fran, and I was in San Fran. I was doing pretty well, and I was in that whole tragedy, like when Garoppolo got hurt, when Sherm. I remember. So what
Yeah.
happened was Sherm traveled on the trip, and they were like, Sherm's not going to make the game. So we got to bring in that practice squad player up to fill that corner spot. We're not going to let
Yeah.
Sherm go. You're the new guy in. We're going to let you get back. We'll bring you back later. All the
Yeah.
stuff happened. People got hurt. So I ended up doing that AAF. I did that XFL. I did pretty well in
Yeah.
those leagues. I did pretty well. And then COVID hit. And when
Mm.
COVID hit, everything shut down for
Shut
that little
down.
year.
Yeah.
Like it was a lot going on,
I remember
and
that.
that kind of shut it down for me in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like I
I
think
get that, man.
I always say if that XFL was around, if it would have finished up that year, I think I might have still been about to
Still
finish
been
up
with
that.
it.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like
Because I remember that was the one where the first year was when it stopped like
that
midway
was
through, was it? No,
the
that was the
AAF.
AAF.
Yeah,
That was AAF that
yeah,
stopped midway through. Good call.
yeah. That shut down, and then the XFL was rocking, and then
Yeah.
the COVID hit. You see it, and
Yeah.
then it was like, all right, these not working.
Yeah. This is getting
That's
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep on
Nah, I
keeping
feel
on.
what you.
Let's
I didn't
keep
feel
on
what you
keeping
saying,
on.
man.
Yeah, so
Shoot, man. For me, like I said, for me, man, it was a little bit different, right? So, obviously, man, me being able to get the next, like the nicer contract, man, when I was in Pittsburgh, it
big
changed
fish,
my mindset. Stop it, bro. Big
big
fish.
fish,
Stop it, bro. Stop it.
big, big
I was
fish,
middle class. I was middle
big
class
fish,
fish. All right. I was a
big
middle
fish.
class. I was a middle class employee, a middle class citizen for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was just right in that middle tier. Okay. Big fish is Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown. That's big fish. I was middle class. All right. Let me hold it down for the middle people. All right. I'm not big time. But for me, man, it was one of those things like, I remember by the time year 7 hit, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I got the contract, I made the money, like, it's the most money I've ever seen, like, and I felt good.
Yeah, talk that.
And I legit started having them thoughts of, like, man, I love playing on Sundays, but I was starting to not love all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
the working out all the time, man, the film study all the time, the sacrificing, just being away. Like, it was
yeah,
really starting to bug me. And
yeah,
I don't know why it was happening that year though, bro. But literally, man, I remember it was probably June. Yeah, it was June, man. I'm out. You remember Frenchie, Will Allen? Man, we're
yeah.
at me and him sitting there at dinner. We just rapping, and I'm like, bro, I think I want to retire. And I
Oh
remember he
man,
had just retired. Yeah, he had just retired. He's like, bro, he say, man, you don't want to do that just yet. And I'm like, what you talking about, man? Like, bro, I'm out, bro. Like, I'm good. Like, yeah, they
don't
can
leave
have this,
yet.
man. Like, I didn't got. He was like, bro, you see what you still got on your contract? He's like, yo, they not tell you they want to cut you. They tell you they want to do anything different, right?
Yeah,
I was
go
like, no,
pick
I'm
that
still
up.
gonna play. He was like, bro, you're not gonna make this type of money right now anywhere else, like for a
Yeah,
long, long time. He's like, bro, you still got some desire in your heart to be out there, man. You need to, you know what I'm saying, like really like dig in and get your mind right. And I'm actually glad that he did say it, because hindsight 2020, I'm like, you know what, that was a great
yeah,
recommendation at the time. It was definitely premature on my part.
yeah.
But that was one of the ones when I just remember like in year 7 feeling like that. So then I play year 8, and that year was kind of weird because that's when we drafted TJ. But that was my first year
Oof.
really throughout like my pro career where I was not playing. Like, I was
Okay,
dressing still, but
you
I
was back
was
to
not
that.
seeing the field. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
even my rookie year, bro, I was worst case, I was gonna be core four on special teams, and I'm your situational pass rusher.
Yeah.
It got to the point by the time year 8 hit, Danny Smith is basically like, bro, nah, like we gonna put the young dudes out here. You the back, like you know all this stuff, but
Yeah.
we got the young guys out here. But then I was guaranteed to get the helmet because I was the third rusher. So I'm like, dang, bro, but I really was not playing because we stopped rotating. It was literally TJ and Bud. So that's when
Okay.
Debo ended up getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And I remember like that whole year, man, me and Debo just kind of like handling it very differently. He was
Okay.
like, yo, I'm
Hey,
pissed off. Like, I ain't cool with this. And I
you
remember for
like,
me, I'm like, bro, like, man, it ain't even that serious, man. Like, I didn't play long enough to where they want the young guy to get his opportunity, but they still willing to pay me. Like, man, I ain't tripping on it.
yeah, let them boys
But
spin.
yeah, but it was definitely like a weird feeling. But that was kind of like when I was like, you know what, this gonna be my pseudo transition year. I said I want to see what this feels like because if I was gonna really retire, like I got to get used to not being out there. And it was weird. Like I still wasn't okay with it, but I wasn't pissed. And that's when I felt like, all right, bro, I ain't never been okay with not being out there. Like
Yeah.
TG, you done seen me when, you know what I'm saying, 3 weeks in this joint and I ain't getting no playing time. And I'm over here like, nah, bro, I got an attitude. I'm hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at that stage for me
I
to
get
just be
it.
kind of cool with it, I was like, nah, man, like, all right. So then by the time I get to AZ, I definitely was checked out, bro. And then I got hurt, and that was kind of like the perfect storm. Get hurt, get the IR, and I'm like, man, I ain't even finna fight
By
back.
your tongue.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think
yeah,
I always tell for the guys, I mean, it's not like blowing your candles out. Like when you blow your candles
yeah,
out, like it's a different feel. Like I think
yeah.
to the guys, like the transition and you don't blow your candles out, you're always kind of chasing that, man, I still had this, or I still could do
Yeah,
this, or I didn't get that. So it's
yeah,
like, I think yours is like a love story, you know,
yeah.
running
Well,
off
no,
into the
respect,
sunset, you know?
respect, and that's why I do say a lot of times I'm like, man, I'm very fortunate in terms of how I exited because, bro, not even from a financial standpoint, because there's people that made way more than me or had way more success, but their exit wasn't as smooth or they weren't in control of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
shoot, we talked about Seven. I mean, think about Seven. Seven's a future first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's still, he talked about it. He said he felt like, he still could be out there, but the
yeah,
team didn't want that. They went a different direction. So
yeah,
that's a different feeling when you talk about how his perspective of leaving, is probably versus mine, where I legit was like, I don't want to say I was burnt out, but
yeah,
it was
no,
definitely flirting with that feeling of like, bro, I'm good. Like, I'd have lived the dream, man. I'd have done everything except win the Super Bowl. Like, man, I'm good. I'm good. And that was
it
kind of like
was
where I was
done.
at with it, man.
I'm with you. It was done with me.
No.
And it's good. That's
Yeah.
a blessing in a sense to be able to blow
Yeah.
your candles out. So
Yeah.
I think
No, without a doubt.
that's the good way out
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah. But that's the thing with the league, though, bro. Like, when you talk about how it's made up and how everybody can have successful careers, but they still end very differently. Like, everybody's story is sort of unique to their self in terms of their entry, the duration part, and then on the way out of this thing, man. But the dope part for both of us is we got a chance to run them numbers up, baby, and have a lot of fun doing that thing, man. So
Yeah.
salute both of us on that, man. Absolutely, absolutely,
What a time.
absolutely,
I'm just trying.
absolutely.
Big fish. Big fish. You're a
Man,
big
don't
fish.
you? I'm not a big
Big
fish,
fish.
bro.